Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. Hope you guys are all having a fantastic, wonderful day. Today's upload is going to be a long-range outlook focusing on the pattern and the potential for a nor'easter in the northeast. Hence the name obviously, and this could be this first significant winter storm of the season. And this could definitely be something to watch and definitely something to make my just deserving of its own video. So there's a more active but slightly warmer pattern going into the next couple of weeks. It seems there will be big storms, lots of precip seems like it will be, and the temperatures will be moderating, no extremes, some areas cooler, some areas warmer. So stay tuned for that video. Stay tuned for that further in this video. However, before I start this video, I just want to add one quick thing in. If you'd like to support this channel, you can do so by doing one simple thing. Clicking that subscribe button, two things actually. Just clicking that subscribe button and clicking that like button. It helps me out a lot, and it's something that is a win-win situation for both of us, so I'd much appreciate that. So let's move on. Right now we're looking at the GFS 6-hour average precipitation rate millimeters per hour. This is Tuesday, October 23rd, which is today, and you can see we have that little storm that actually is going to come out of Canada, drop down into the coast, produce quite a bit of snowfall for northern central Maine and into New Hampshire, Vermont. And that will quickly leave the area, dropping around somewhere close to 6 to 8 inches for some locations, but most I would say 3 to 5 inches. And after that, we have this one storm right here that is very weak, nothing too significant, but it does play an essential role in converting some of its energy into this major storm, which will ride up the east coast. And once it rides up this east coast with the jet stream under it, it intensifies really quickly. Once it intensifies, it could become a very strong, powerful nor'easter. So flooding is likely, insane waves, erosion, inland flooding, coastal flooding is all seems online as something possible with the storm. You could see even the GFS is very not bullish with the snow. It's showing some pink, some blue, but mainly rain with this, so not much mixing going on. But the European model, which I'll show you in just a minute, actually has quite a bit of blue color in here, so that could, indicate some potential for a first nor'easter of the year in terms of the snowfall. After that passes through, we get another little system marked by some cooler air. Nothing too major until this storm starts coming out, and you can see leaves this is still very far out, so this could leave some snow behind in upper Midwest. And then we just see, I won't pin down any single storm from now on. You can see I'm just going to run this through. A couple of storms, the northeast being snowed on, a couple other areas being snowed on, and this is a 12Z model run. If I were to show you the 6Z model run, you could see that there were some storms that are further south, producing snow from Oklahoma all the way to Wisconsin. So I would say a very active pattern right now. We're going into a very active pattern, and if we were go to actually the 18Z Tuesday, the reason I'm not showing you this is because it only goes out to 144 hours. So you could see very similar thing. GFS is not showing much much snow with this system right here, and this is as far out as it goes as of now. So let's go back to the 12Z. Let's quickly look at the temperature pattern, what we may be expecting. So let's go back to hour 0. And if we were to look at this, you could see that we have some cooler air placed across the eastern part of the United States right now, and some warmer air in the western part of the United States. As we move this in time, you can see some of that air dives in to portions of the northeast further, and depending on how much cold air we have during that nor'easter event, depends on basically how much rain will be converted to snow and how big the snowfall accumulations there will be. And you can see after that, still slightly cooler temperatures, but the warm orange colors are definitely starting to mix in, especially the further west you go. It's going to be very warm, above average. And then the cold air, tries making in a couple of comebacks, and it will. And along those little comebacks, those little cold shots, we can see a couple of storms from the north producing, or even we could see a storm coming from the south, and it could just be overriding with that cold air producing a good amount of snow if it's cold enough. So let's quickly look at 2-meter temperature shaded. Go to hour 0. Right now what we're looking at, you can see, is what currently is happening. Couple patchy frost, scattered frost depending on where you live, as far south as northern Indiana, northern Ohio, and New York and Maine. Frost and freezes, and again, that does get fairly down into the northeast as that little system rides in, and behind it's posing quite a bit of cool air. And you can see basically the whole upper northeast is in frost, including even major cities like Boston, potentially even New York City. We do see that warming trend a little bit. You can see those warm temperatures trying to pull in, but at the same time, we see that that nor'easter happening with that right there, pulling in some of that warm air, and depending on how much cold air there is right there, you can see the temperatures are very borderline, 34, 32 degrees here in Vermont, New Hampshire, New York, Maine. So definitely on the border. If this drops a couple of degrees further, we could be seeing a major snowstorm. And you can see right now we are also seeing some, or not right now, this is already Tuesday, October 30th. So on Halloween, on Halloween, this should be Halloween day right here. Fairly chilly, I would say. Not many places above average, other than parts of the west, especially the southwest. But fairly chilly day for sure. You could see 40s, 50s, 30s for much of the country. And in terms of the precipitation for trick-or-treating, we may be seeing a storm in the central part of the country, but for the northeast, southeast, west, and even the northwest, I would go as far as saying we could be seeing fairly good conditions for trick-or-treating if you do that. So let's go down into let's just go to actually the 6 to 10 day outlook in terms of temperature by this Climate Prediction Center, or CPC. And you can see the blue colors are where it indicates, the blue colors indicate a little bit cooler than average temperature, or the odds of having cooler than average temperatures at a certain percentile. This is at 50% chance of being cooler. This is around 50% chance of being warmer than average. So, yes, there are some areas that are cooler, some warmer, some in between, but no major extremes like we saw a couple of weeks ago with that big ridge right here, or that big ridging from that high that was centered right here, bringing in tons of warm air, and that troughing right here across the west, bringing that cold air in. In terms of precip, you could see above average for much of the country. That would be indicated by the massive storms. I almost said snowstorms. Should say storms, and then potentially snowstorms in some locations, depending on how cold it's gonna be. Again, now this is the 8 to 14 day outlook, October 31st, so Halloween day through November 6th. You can see that temperatures do shift around a little bit cooler towards the west and a little bit warmer in the east. Kind of the similar pattern we saw a couple of weeks ago with those extremes, but again, not nearly as extreme, only 50% chance of being warmer. And so basically 50-50 of chance of being, or 50% chance of being warmer rather than cooler, and here 50% chance of being cooler than warmer, and here in between in those gray colors it's 50-50. And again, the above average precipitation definitely continues into much of the country. So I would also like to, before we go, quickly show you windy.com. This is the website where I get my European model off of for the snow. And if we were to go to the European model for the next 10 days, you could see that it has a little bit more snow than the GFS for the northeast, and that would be produced by that nor'easter that could be happening next weekend. You can see down all the way into Massachusetts, New Hampshire, Vermont, 4.85 inches of snow possible, and then by areas like southern, central New York and northern New York, possibly up to 4 or 5 inches, maybe a little bit less. So that is what the European is showing. The GFS is showing much less, only in northern Maine, which is going to be associated with the snowstorm that's going to be happening overnight, today and into tomorrow. But overall, not much other precip or snow across the country with the GFS, but the European model you can see has much more. And I do like the European model better. In terms of predicting the snowfall amounts, it just tends to have a better grip on that. So that is basically it for today's video. I just wanted to give you a quick long-range update outlook on the weather. Hopefully you enjoyed. Hopefully you learned something new. Consider subscribing to my channel. Consider liking the video. And I'll catch you all guys on the next episode. See ya. Bye.